In this video, let's check a few tricks you can use to get a bit more advanced data from request.security function. And they're pretty simple things. So basically you can modify your ticker a bit. In this way you can get a bit adjusted data for your needs. So what I mean by that? So let's start with ticker.new function. So usually when you just use as your symbol, your like exchange and your symbol only, then TradingView will look at some default value for every instrument, and you will get a session and adjustment for your symbol as default values. But if you want to override it, you can do this quite easily with the ticker.new function. So how it works, so here's a few examples. So first you list your prefix, your exchange basically, the second is your symbol, and after that you can specify two parameters. You can choose yourself like a session. It can be session.regular or session.extended. And also here you can see I have a few examples how you can choose adjustment. So you can choose to get data without any adjustment, or you can choose to get data only for splits, or you can ask TradingView to compute it for dividends and splits as well in the adjustment.dividends. And here you can see that when you just create this ticker with the ticker ID, then you can use it in your request.security function as is, and this will work quite fine for me. So here, for example, I got like Apple without any adjustments, and if we'll scroll a bit, you will see here you can see we have a split. In addition to ticker.new function, you have ticker.modify function in PineScript. And the idea is pretty simple. So if you already created like a ticker and you stored it somewhere, you can use ticker.modify to create a new ticker from this one with adjusted session and adjustment. So here, for example, I took one of my tickers I created previously and I edited to use regular session and adjustments for splits, for example. And after that, you can use new ticker again in request.security function. So it works quite well as well. In PineScript also you can get data for some kind of not standard charts inside PineScript as well. So if you go here on the top to your chart, here you can select type of the chart you want to display on your screen, and here you can find a few pretty interesting charts, so for example like Renko, Heikin-Ashi and so on. And nice thing is that you can kind of compute this stuff inside your PineScript quite easily. So here I have an example. So for example here I want to compute and display Heikin-Ashi candles on my chart. And to do that, what I have to do is to write the same request security function call as I do for my kind of usual calls, but I have to wrap my ticker inside ticker.Heikin-Ashi function. And that's basically it. Everything else works the same way for me. So as you can see, after that I just use the plot candle to plot this candle. So let's save my chart to see how it works. So here you can see, here I have nice Heikin-Ashi candles computed in my script. I don't need to compute it myself, and for some strategies it can be pretty useful. Also in PineScript you have access to a few more pretty interesting non-standard charts. For example, you have Renko here, a line break, Kagi, and point figure. I don't want to go into details of these functions. I don't use them very often, but I think they are quite interesting, and it's quite easy to use them as well. So for example, here for Renko you have to specify your ticker, and also you have other two parameters. You can specify what style of the Renko you want to use, size of the bricks in the Renko, and so on. And for every other function you have some parameters you can pass. For example, for line break here, for Kagi and point figure you have some parameters, so you basically can set up your non-standard chart from your code quite easily. As I said to you, I'm not using them very often, and there's a reason for that. problem is that all these functions I showed here, they're not linear, so basically they don't have linear time, and it's quite tricky to transform them from their time to like usual candles. And quite often this can cause some problems as repeating for the indicators and so on. And if you, for example, you'll try to create a strategy based on Renko or line break and so on, you might see very good results, but in reality, you won't have this when live trading. So be very careful with them, and if you want just to display them on your chart nicely, or you want to create some indicator just to display some information, that's fine. But my advice is for you is not to use them for strategy, because these results might not be so consistent.